Hello, everyone. Welcome again to my channel, My Mindset Academy. And today we'll be talking about journaling. I know there's huge content over the internet and over the blogs about journaling. But what is the right way to journal is what we are going to discuss today. But before that, I would like to share with you a story from my personal life on journaling. In my teens, so since I'm the only child of my parents, I didn't have much friends to share my emotions or maybe my stories with. So, what I used to do is, I remember especially when I was in my teens, I used to buy this diary, the yearly diary that we get every year. And I had my personal journaling diary. And every time I was either angry or I was not able to express my emotions or my thoughts, I used to note it down in this wonderful, precious diary of mine. And I used to keep it hidden. So, what happened is that sometimes I used to write a page, sometimes multiple pages in it. And most of the time, it was very conversational. It was like the diary was a person, and I would actually speak to the diary and seek answers and question it. It's like Q&As. It used to have my stories, my experiences, and everything. Now, over the years, I had around 10 to 12 of these diaries with me, and I carried it with me through my adulthood um, until a couple of years of my first job. So imagine I had stored it so close to my heart. Now, I had no idea that that is what I was doing journaling. I was reflecting. I don't know who told me to write down. Um, Probably somebody did, or I don't remember how it all started, but that's what was my practice. Now, there was a time in my life when I was, I think, 2 years into my new job, and I was still writing my diaries, and I when I opened the diary and I just wanted to go back and check what are the things that I had written, and it happened out of the blue. I never used to reread what I had written, but that day when I sat and I started looking at the initial diaries, that I had, I observed that 90% of that content was negative. I was so scared to go through those pages because I had narrated some horrifying emotional events that had happened. Some of them were not that major, but probably at that moment, I might have felt that it was devastating situation for me. So I observed that 90% of the things that I had written were all negative. And my mind told me that why am I even holding on to it? Is it worth it? At that point of time, I had no idea about what a mindset is about. What is law of attraction? What is manifestation? What is spirituality? What is soulful journey? What is healing? I had what is affirmation? I had no clue about the term affirmation. I was living just in the outer world. My inner world was zero. I used to pray and all. I was doing religious activities that my parents had taught me, and it had become a habit, but no soulful searching or reflections and all at all. So I started tearing off every diary, and only I used to write some poems. So I kind of kept those pages. But whatever was negative in that, I just started tearing it away. And eventually I decided that I'm going to stop this practice of capturing my negative emotions in this diary because it was not serving me. I literally had tears and I had those exact emotions that I had felt when those events had happened in my life. So that was my experience of journaling. Now, fast forward to the year 2023. There was a student whom I was working with closely, and he was doing very well. And one day he called me, and I mean, our sessions were over by then, but I do stay in touch with my students, so they have the freedom to talk to me, if they come across any questions or any sort of events. So when he called me, he said that he was going through a lot of negative thinking patterns at that moment. He was going downhill emotionally than where where we had left after our session. So I asked him that, why don't you do journaling? Because journaling helps a lot. Because now I know the right way of journaling. So I said, why don't you do journaling? And he told me very proudly that every day he does journaling, morning and also in the evening, without fail. So out of curiosity, I just asked him that, okay, what is it that you write in your journals? And he said what he narrated kind of horrified me because he was doing exactly what I was doing in my younger days unknowingly. Of course, he was also doing it unknowingly because he felt that if he doesn't have anybody to talk to, and there are certain things, right, we keep it to ourselves. So if you write it down, then it's like you've spoken to somebody in your life and you feel kind of a relief. But he was saving it. He also had multiple diaries, he said, and he had written down every negative things, the negative thoughts, the fears, the phobias, the assumptions. Nothing was positive in it. So that's when I said that, oh my goodness, people know what do journaling, but they do not know the right way to journal. So that's when I did have a talk with him about that, and we kind of chatted our plan, and he's in a better state right now. So yeah, so the crux of the story is that be careful of what you're writing down. Because I'm also a graphotherapist, so I know the power of handwriting, the power of writing it down. If you go back, when during our evolution, our ancestors, the language, the spoken language came out at a very later stage. If you go through the history, you will observe that in caves, um, the cavemen, our ancestors, they used to draw to communicate. You might have seen in some movies, or you might have, if you Google, you can find out, the cave painting. So humans had this intuition to write. And when you write, it's like your handwriting is connected directly to your brain. So when you write down something, it's very stronger, it's very powerful. That's why they say, we write down our affirmations. There are techniques of manifestation, which is called scripting, which is again a very powerful technique of to manifest something. Because when we write, it's like etching it. It's like doing like writing on a rock is like a permanent thing to do, right? So I think that's how we've evolved. So writing has a very powerful impact. It goes directly in our subconscious. And no wonder. Imagine if I'm writing, let's say that I'm unknowingly journaling, and if you are one of those, please stop it right now. I humbly request you to stop it because it's very, very dangerous. Imagine I'm writing on day one, I've journaled that I have doubts about. So if I have a business partner, so I say, I have doubts about this business partner. He's going to cheat me. Uh, he said something, and now, he's saying something else. He's not living up to his commitments. And again, next day I write, he hurt me. My business partner is not respecting me enough. I'm feeling hurt. What are you doing? Aren't you affirming negatively? You're creating your reality. So if you kind of, our thoughts create our reality. So if you are doing negative journaling, kindly stop it right now because you are creating a negative reality for yourself. It's important to reflect. It's important. There is another method of journaling, which probably I may talk about it a little later, but that's a very effective tool of how you can let go of all the negative emotions through journaling. But then there is a process behind it. There's a next step to it. If you are not aware of it, then do find a coach or you're free to DM me or work with me. I'll be so happy and so blessed to work with you. So let's come to the right way of journaling. So what is it? What is the right way to journal? So there are 5 steps according to my knowledge and what I use um, as per my learning is step one is gratitude. So journaling usually is mostly done the first thing in the morning or the last thing before you go to sleep. So in my journal, the first thing is about gratitude. Gratitude because we have so many blessings every day. Waking up every day itself is a blessing. Do you think everybody had this privilege of who went to bed in the night and they woke up healthy and happy? How many people left the world? Have you thought about that? Are you grateful that you're alive? Or the moment you wake up, what is it that you do? You take your phone and you read the news, or you say, oh my God, so many emails, oh my God, or so many messages I have to reply. Or you read the news and you see all the negativity and you say, oh, this world is horrible. Or you start to panic that, oh my God, today I have so much tasks to be done. My list is endless. So, what is it that you are doing the moment you wake up? The right way is start with gratitude. It's just a 5 minutes journal. It won't take much time. Step one is gratitude. So what you need to write is write 3 things or 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for today. For example, um, maybe you're grateful that you're breathing by yourself. You're not on ventilator. You don't have an oxygen cylinder or oxygen mask for you to breathe. Be grateful there is fresh air. There's enough oxygen today in the atmosphere to breathe. Be grateful for the comfortable bed that you slept and you feel so relaxed. You could be grateful that you have fresh water to drink beside your bed. Everybody doesn't have that privilege. Or be grateful that you have a roof above your head because everybody doesn't have it. Be grateful that you can see. How beautiful is that? Or you can smell, you can smile, you can eat your food by yourself. So many things to be grateful about. Write down just 3. If you're so busy and you don't have time, you can just note down 3 things to be grateful about. The second step is set an intention for the day. What is it that you intend to achieve today? For example, it doesn't have to be only about work goals. You can add personal goals. You can add that, okay, today my intention is I will say thank you to 10 people. I'll just randomly send thank you messages to 10 people on my WhatsApp group. That could be an intention, or it could be an intention for the world. Just close your eyes and just for a moment say that, repeat that intention and capture it down. One intention is enough. Or probably another intention that I usually set is today I'm going to respond. I intend to respond rather than react. What you're doing is you are reprogramming your subconscious mind. the first thing that is what you're doing in the morning. And mornings are very powerful because we just wake up from sleep. So the stage that the mind is very adaptive and very suggestive. The third step is that you can do some reflection and see, is there any negative emotion or negative thought that's troubling you today? Write it down. Now, once that's written down, the next step, the step number 4, is you have to reframe it immediately. So we're not going to leave that thought as it. You're going to reframe it. Let's say you're saying you have a presentation to give, and at times it's from my experience. I had this meeting and I had to present, my content to my boss and all that. Usually I feel that, oh my God, negative towards them, saying, oh, they will judge what I'm going to present, or they might feel that this is not enough and I have to rework, and all that emotion. These are all negative emotions, right? So immediately once I observe that, I'm ready to reframe as the fourth step. Reframing is that convert it into a positive statement. It's also like an affirmation. Yeah, convert it into affirmation. So, for example, if you feel that I have a doubt that my boss will, criticize me today. So, I'm feeling, what am I feeling? I'm feeling anxious about it or worried. So, instead of that, the next step, step number 4, is convert it into affirmation. Reframe and affirm. Convert it into affirmation. The affirmation could be, my meeting was effortless. You can use a present tense, or you can use like as if it's already happened. So you could say like, my meeting was effortless today with my boss. My presentation is going super smooth and everybody's so engaged and having meaningful conversation. When you are reframing, immediately affirm it into a positive one. And the fifth step is something that you could do in the evening before sleeping, which is again, end your day with gratitude. So, what are the 3 things that you're grateful for? 3 to 5 things you're grateful. Usually, when I write, I'm always grateful that I was active. I could complete all the tasks today, or I was grateful. I'm grateful that I'm still alive. I'm still healthy. I can walk on my own. I'm grateful that I have the internet, that I can see some entertainment. I'm grateful that I can read and write. I'm educated. So these are 5 steps. So I'll just repeat it for you. Start with gratitude, set an intention for the day, reflect on a negative emotion that you're feeling currently, and reframe it. And the fifth is gratitude. So gratitude is what we end with. So this is the right way to journal. There are other ways. I'm not saying this is the only right way, but don't journal your negative emotions and leave it as it is. Okay, maybe another video I'll create where I'll tell you what you should do to when you want to capture your negative emotions. What's the next step to do after that? Stay tuned for that. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and like and share and subscribe to my channel for more such practical, empowering content. And um, if you want to work with me personally, there's an upcoming webinar, 5 days morning bootcamp, where we'll be talking on how we can reprogram our subconscious mind, supercharge our manifestation. So if you're interested, click the link below and register to subscribe, and see you again. Take care. Love you all. Bye bye.